true champions rise again.
There's nothing that can break my mindset. Nothing. I'm bulletproof.
You can only put in that amount of work if you were doing something that you are passionate about. And that's what I have engaged my entire life's work in.
Being able to defend myself was always something that occupied a lot of my mind. It occupied all of my mind, to be honest.
In the struggle, you know, when things are going good and you visualize these good things happening, you visualize more good things happening, that's easy. What's not easy to do is when things are going bad.
Tonight, though, is a big chance for him to truly live up to his own hype.
You know, I always knew I only need one chance. I always felt I was better than everybody.
When Conor McGregor fights, you're witnessing something that comes along once in a lifetime.
Before the tailored suits, before the whiskey empire, before the private jets, the Lamborghinis, and the stadiums full of fans chanting his name.
The notorious Conor McGregor!
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
There was just Conor McGregor, a guy that was a broke kid from Dublin, dragging himself out of bed at 5 a.m. to work as a plumber's apprentice. Covered in mud, earning scraps, and living off welfare, Conor McGregor had every reason to quit on his dream. But he didn't. He believed in himself with a fire that was so insane, so unshakable, that he turned a life of cold mornings and empty pockets into a global empire.
I am happy that I have put martial arts in the spotlight in my country and shown it for what it is, true dedication.
This is the incredible journey of how Conor McGregor went from fitting pipes to becoming the most famous fighter on earth. Dublin's dreamer. Conor Anthony McGregor was born in 1988 in Crumlin, one of Dublin's toughest working-class neighborhoods. His parents, Tony and Margaret, raised him with humble means. Football was his first passion. He dreamed of becoming a striker for Manchester United one day. But life in Crumlin was hard. Fights broke out on street corners, poverty was everywhere, and by the time he was 12, Conor's parents enrolled him at Crumlin Boxing Club. They hoped that it would give him some discipline, but what it gave him was swagger. In that gym, McGregor found his new identity. He learned timing, he learned sharpness, and most of all, he learned how to be confident. Still, fighting was just a hobby. At 17 years old, he started an apprenticeship as a plumber. His days began before sunrise. He carried pipes through mud, crawled under houses, and dug trenches in freezing rain. The pay was miserable. Conor hated every second of it, and years later he described it bluntly. I was waking up at 5 in the morning, working 12-hour days, coming home exhausted, and I just thought, this can't be my life.
The whole experience was heavy work. You know, I'd wake up at like 5:30 in the morning. I'd walk about a half an hour hike uphill. We'd drive 2 hours in the traffic all the way to the site, and it was just, and I'm the young kid, so I'm getting ordered to do this and ordered to do that, and it was just a rough time for me, and I knew that I did not want to pursue this life.
But at night, no matter how broken his body felt, he trained. He was into kickboxing, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, wrestling, anything he could basically find in that small Dublin gym. And when his co-workers went to pubs, Conor was shadowboxing in mirrors, dreaming of arenas that he hadn't even seen yet. Even then, people noticed something strange about him. He spoke about the future as if it already happened. To a lot of his friends, he'd just say, I'm going to be the world champion, I'm going to be rich, I'll change my family's life.
No one in Ireland had made it in the fight game. The fight game, an Irishman in the UFC was literally, and I mean literally, laughed at. You were laughed at, you know. I just used all that fuel that I'm not supposed to do it, but I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna outwork everyone that says I cannot do it.
And what did they do? They laughed about it. But Conor, he never flinched on his dream. The mentor and the welfare checks. In 2006, Conor walked into Straight Blast Gym for the very first time, and there he met John Kavanagh, the man who would become his lifelong coach. Kavanagh wasn't impressed at first. Conor was pretty raw, he was brash, and he was way too cocky. But unlike the other kids in the gym who came and went, Conor, he just kept showing up.
Every drill I did with Conor, every second of that drill, he was in the T-Mobile Arena and he was facing the world #1 and he was fighting for the world title. And he was able to put himself in that mindset from day one with every lesson we did.
He trained with an intensity that was just so hard to ignore. And the funny part was that every time he sparred with someone, he taught. He'd call his shots mid-fight and then he'd still land them. But obsession doesn't pay rent. Conor quit plumbing to focus on fighting full-time. And the problem was that there was no money in Irish MMA back then. He lived with his girlfriend, Dee Devlin, and she was the one who supported him while he trained. Together, they survived on Ireland's welfare system.
The Irish Death Bureau. Tell them to join the queue.
You organize Conor's life a bit?
Pretty much.
She's a strong, strong woman. Like I said, she is a boss of her own.
A government check of just about 188 euros a week. For Conor, it wasn't shameful, it was motivation. He once told a friend, holding one of those checks in his hand, one day I'll be holding checks for 60 G's. That belief, it carried him through the darkest of times. He and Dee lived frugally, sometimes struggling to pay for food or for gas. But Dee, she believed in him completely. Kavanagh, to his credit, he did too. And that triangle of fighter, coach, and partner would form the backbone of Conor's incredible rise. The Cage Warriors King. By 2011, Conor was fighting professionally for Cage Warriors, Europe's premier MMA promotion. This was where his legend truly began. Conor wasn't just winning, he was putting on a show. His left hand became a weapon of destruction.
Oh, huge head kick! Big connection from Conor McGregor!
Well, I was more eager to get in there and I was feeding off the crowd. And
his walkouts were always electric, his knockouts were always brutal, and his interviews was always pure theater. He started predicting and not just victories, but the exact round and method, and then he would always deliver. Fans began calling him Mystic Mac. And in 2012, he made history by becoming the first Cage Warriors fighter to hold 2 titles simultaneously.
And Conor McGregor looks almost like a Viking.
The notorious Conor McGregor!
I'm just happy to come out and put on a show for everyone. Thanks everyone, yeah, feel good.
The featherweight and the lightweight championship. He did it in style. He flattened opponents with precise counter strikes. And let's not forget about the way that he would just swagger around the cage, like he already owned it, like he was the main guy. And even then, he was still broke. After one fight, he turned to Dee and he said, "If I can just get to the UFC, life will never be the same again." Behind the scenes, John Kavanagh was emailing the UFC non-stop, begging them to give Conor McGregor a shot. For months, there was just silence. But then, in 2013, the call, it finally came. Taking over the UFC. Conor's debut came in April of 2013 in Stockholm against Marcus Brimage. The UFC didn't expect any fireworks. They thought that he was just another European prospect with a good punch.
Anticipation for the fighting pride of Dublin is at a fever pitch. Conor, notorious McGregor, swears off against Marcus, the Bama Beast Brimage.
What they got, however, was the birth of a superstar. Conor McGregor dismantled Brimage in under 90 seconds, finishing him with a vicious uppercut combination.
Conor McGregor, another first-round win! Wow!
That is exactly why he's so dangerous, Mike. And from there, it was all Conor McGregor.
Then he grabbed the mic and he shouted, "Dana, 60 G's, baby."
Dana, 60 G's, baby!
Overnight, he went from an unknown Irishman to the UFC's new sensation. What followed was a rise unlike anything the MMA had ever seen. In Dublin, he knocked out Diego Brandão in front of a roaring hometown crowd.
Go absolutely wild! Wow! Beautiful comeback from injury as he cruised to victory in front of his home crowd,
sending the arena into chaos. And then in Las Vegas, he knocked out Dustin Poirier. Everywhere he went, he talked big, and then he backed it all up.
He said he would make it look easy. He made it look easy.
Conor McGregor!
His charisma was unmatched. The press conference became as entertaining as the fights itself. McGregor roasted opponents, rattled them psychologically, and sold tickets like no one before him.
Oh, whoa, careful. What you gonna do? Oh, whoa. You gonna do something over there? Be careful. Shut your mouth.
He gets wobbled, you know, he does the chicken dance on a jab. I'll catch him with a jab, or maybe a gust of wind. I don't know, his chin is weak. A gust of wind could make him do the chicken dance.
Dana White admitted, "We've never seen anything like this." But the defining moment came in December of 2015 at UFC 194. McGregor faced Jose Aldo, undefeated for a decade, considered the pound-for-pound best fighter alive. The hype was unprecedented. World tours, packed arenas, the entire sport was watching. And then, in just 13 seconds, it was over.
Oh! He slapped him! The new UFC featherweight champion of the world!
Oh, unbelievable! Oh my God!
Aldo lunged, McGregor slipped back, and his left hand landed flush. Aldo collapsed. McGregor stood over him screaming. Ireland's green, white, and orange flags waving through the crowd.
Again, nobody can take that left-hand shot. He's powerful and he's fast, but precision beats power. He's a phenomenal champion. He was a phenomenal champion, but I still feel at the end of the day, precision beats power. It's over before you even know it, and then you're like, I wish I was in the moment a bit more.
You are the undisputed UFC featherweight champion of the world. Yeah!
It was the fastest knockout in a UFC title fight history. And just like that, McGregor was no longer a star. He was now a phenomenon. The global superstar. See, Conor, he could have just stopped there, but he wanted more.
I seek to push myself, to challenge myself, take risks. I'm always looking to make history every single day. If anyone can do it, it's me.
And the truth will be told.
I'm the most active champion there is. You're focusing on me. I'm focusing on history.
He's never put himself in harm's way.
In November of 2016 at Madison Square Garden, he fought Eddie Alvarez for the lightweight title. What followed was one of the cleanest performances in UFC history.
Brace the grind.
Able to stuff all these takedown attempts by Eddie.
Total strikes thus far. Getting loose, getting better here in this round, though.
Oh, man.
Until that.
Oh, he's done.
Conor McGregor is the UFC lightweight champion.
McGregor knocked Alvarez down again and again. Before finishing him in round 2, he stood in the center of the octagon, 2 belts on his shoulder, and delivered one of the most iconic lines in sports history. I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the F he wants.
I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
But he wasn't done there. In 2017, he crossed over into boxing to face Floyd Mayweather.
Mayweather's one of the best fighters ever walked the planet. Conor McGregor is not.
Just the idea of seeing an MMA fighter make his boxing debut against the biggest name in the sport
was an insult to the game.
You know, boxing is boxing and MMA is MMA. They're two separate sports. And it would be a joke, it would be an embarrassment for boxing if an MMA fighter were to go into the ring. It would be a no contest.
And pundits said that it was a circus. McGregor turned it into one of the biggest events in combat sports history. The press conferences were like rock concerts. The fight itself broke records, earning McGregor a reported $100 million. From welfare checks of 188 euros to the richest debut in boxing history. Since then, McGregor's career has been a whirlwind of wins, losses, injuries, controversies, and a lot of business ventures. His whiskey brand, Proper No. 12, sold for hundreds of millions of dollars. He has since bought yachts, cars, and mansions. He became more than just a fighter. He has become now more like a cultural icon. Love him or hate him, one thing is pretty much undeniable. Conor McGregor changed the game forever. He showed fighters how to market themselves, how to sell fights, and how to dream beyond the cage. And right now, he is even looking at a potential acting career since, quote unquote, he might be retired as a fighter. But we never know, we might see him at the fight at the White House pretty soon. We never know what the future holds for one of the greatest fighters ever to step into the octagon. But the one thing is, guys, I want to know from you, what do you think of Conor McGregor? Do you think that there's still a possibility he could find himself back in the octagon? Or do you think that he should stay away and rather pursue a career as an actor, or potentially just run a couple of businesses? Let me know in the comments down below, guys. And don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe for more MMA content like this. And guys, I will catch you on the next one.